Good afternoon. That's much better. Now I think I can see that we can maintain the energy throughout day, in fact, throughout evening. Thank you for joining. I know this is almost, for some of you, post-lunch session. It will be difficult to keep awake, but we'll try. And with all our insightful discussion and all that. So thank you for joining. And she just mentioned about the AI, and you can see that today, if we don't speak about AI, then something we are missing out. Lots of things happening. AI is not a technology. AI is not a Industrial Revolution 4. It's just one part of that. AI is basically how businesses are transforming themselves, how businesses are basically finding scope for improvement in the productivity, efficiency, driving innovation, automation, lots of things. It's just one component. It's not a technology. It's lots of things. So I'll just try to touch base some aspect of AI today and how all of us are basically embracing where basically investment are going today in terms of technology, AI, and rest of the things, and what value we can drive. All those things let's put together. I think AI is anyways, today we have one theme out of multiple theme what we have. So I'll touch base one theme because I think I'll leave rest of you folks to have conversation around AI throughout the evening. I think we have a lot more to discuss. So with that, I'll start. AI, I think most of us, maybe average age could be more than 45, 50, somewhere 60. We all have seen those old days. AI is not a new, right? In the 1950s, some of you might have heard about the Turing test. It used to use those AI, in fact. So AI is not a new. It used to be there in the past. We all have leveraged in the past, but it's bits and pieces. What's happening today, the computational power is so huge, so large, and we are using same time the abundant data, the vast amount of data available. And that's both coming together, and we are basically leveraging it out, both in our benefit in order to improve productivity, drive innovation and efficiency, all those things. In fact, multidisciplinary approach, along with new learning in the algorithm, all are basically telling us to embrace the technology to drive the innovation. And that's what is happening. So it's not a new. There are multiple things. It's just we got abundant data. In fact, there's a statistics. The last 90% of the data got generated in last few months. So that's the what we call amount of data we got. More than that, the computational capacity what we have generated is what everyone trying to leverage. Everyone trying to use and drive some innovation for themselves. Now, moving on, what's happening today, there are multiple functionality, multiple capabilities we have. It's a 4x3 matrix, what we can call it. That's overall AI space look like today. But unfortunately, what's happening today as a company, we try to be a more practical where we can find good return out of it. So, for example, we are using today just two boxes, the green box, what we call maybe generative AI, virtual assistant, chatbot, and self-driving cars. That's it. So those two boxes, roughly around 17% of the total AI capacity we have on the planet. The rest is all the theoretical aspects. Maybe is the exploration stage. More and more companies are basically joining the research house in order to understand rest of the theoretical space where we shaded as a gray, how we can use. Just imagine, we have a self-aware AI that conflicting with super AI. The outcome or output what we'll get is completely unbelievable. But we are not there yet. We are just first left top bottom quadrant, which is around 17% of the total AI capacity what we have. And that's it. But the way out is a huge. What we need to understand how we can apply those cutting edge technology to drive innovation, drive output from that. Now moving on, if I have to talk about how organizations are basically moving towards the AI, putting money into this one, what we did Last month, we reached out to something around 10,000 businesses across 32 countries. India was included in that. And we asked certain set of questions related to the AI. Basically, how much of technology, how much of budget you're basically assigned towards the AI. And it will be surprised to know that we asked this question 2 years. Last year, same time, we asked the same question. And this year, same time, we asked the same question. So it's a good comparative data point, how we can draw. We can see left-hand side, the bar indicate the percentage of respondent. In 2024, so more than around 13% of the respondent, they said that our budget towards the AI is less than of the total technology budget. You can see the left-hand side. Whereas the right-hand side in 2024, roughly is no company, in fact, less than 0% of the company said that our budget is more than 30%, right? That's AI. But today, 1 year later, November 2025, October 2025, when we reached out to those set of companies, you can see 4% of the respondents saying their budget is now increased to 30%, right? No company, 4%. But look at the left-hand side quadrant, roughly just 5%, which means percentage is coming down. 5% is putting less than 1%. But quantum increase, you can see that 26% of the respondents are saying their budget towards the AI gone up by 11 to 20%, 14%, 21 to 30%, and 4% more than 30%. What it tells us that just less than 1 year, in fact, this number, if I ask all of you guys next year, same month, possibly this could be even higher. More and more companies are now joining the league to put money into the AI. No talking, no discussion, nothing. Just put money and try to leverage that. That's a great thing because now we have understood the capacity and capability AI can drive for all of us to improve productivity and efficiency and have those transformational growth. Now, moving on, but unfortunately, what's happening, those investments are still going into what we call primary AI use cases rather than the advanced use cases. So we categorize our AI use where we are basically how we are using AI. You can see the bottom chart, that's pink, where we categorize as advanced AI usage. 8% of the company are basically putting their money or using for a natural language processing. That's one of the tools used in the AI. But 30% of respondents, there are multiple, they are overlapping, so it will not add up to 100%. So multiple responses, you can see 30% of the company using their AI use case for AI optimized hardware, maybe biometric, that we all know, attendance, decision management, marketing automation, and content creation. It's very basic, it's a fundamental, it's just startup. And more company are putting into money. What we need when we meet next year, and when I put up this chart, the good thing is that our expectation could be that more and more companies are utilizing the pink bar, which is advanced AI use case, rather than, of course, those basics need, but I think gradually the need of R is how we are moving towards the more of advanced use cases rather than restricting ourselves to this blue line. So that's one thing. Last year, in fact, last 10 years, European Commission, European Central Bank, they basically tracked 22,000 S&P listed companies, and they heard their earning calls. They just wanted to understand how companies foresee the AI and how they're using. And their responses, basically, they bucketed into 3 categories. One, the companies their sentiment is very high or optimistic towards AI use case, they're driving automation and, the efficiency, productivity. And the second bucket is basically adoption. Rather than optimism, they're basically putting money into this one and they're taking early advantage. And third, who basically citing the risk. The chart is exactly these 3 things. The red one, the pink one, I would say that risk is pretty much flat, means last 10 years, The company who stated, oh, there's a risky proposition, they continued to be, that number of companies didn't go up, as it go down. So that remained flat. And similarly, you have a optimistic sentiment. But what happened in the optimistic sentiment last 2 to 3 years, you can see the blue dot line, it's gone up significantly, which means more and more company now realize the potential of AI and usage of the AI. And adoption, you can see, that's gone up in the green. Last 2 years, 3 years, the adoption for the AI use cases are going up. So it's no talking, no discussion. So money is going into this one, adoption is going up. Only thing is that is the basic use case, no advance. Now, moving on, all the companies last 10 years, when we looked at, are early adopters. Their return, when we analyzed how they've generated the equity returns, you can see all these companies who use the AI much ahead of the time during last 10 years of the analysis of their earning calls, the 25% of the return they generated, rather than the laggard who did not adopt AI at the right time, their equity return was almost half, less than half. So that's output, that's outcome. That's coming real from the real data set. Not no assumptions, no statistics, no modeling, no AI output or no co-pilot output. It's real output coming in. All the companies who adopted AI 10 years back, look at the return they have generated on their equity. Now, moving on, I think from DNB use cases, something we all are very associative. We know that when someone talks about the penguins, Antarctica, fish, and all that, we know, oh, that's a bird. When we talk about some publication house or report and other things, we are able to list to the publication house. These two companies, you can see how AI helps to really categorize the name of the companies into the real bucket. When you talk about the fish company, right, a fish partnership, the first thing goes in the mind, oh, they might be doing just some trading into the fish or some other things, but actually not. They are something different. They are basically the accounting services companies. Similarly, when we use the non-AI method or AI method, the downside, you can see the Caterpillar, when you use a non-AI method, we found there's a 1343, what they have the linkages, but when you use the AI, we got something more than 2,500, they have linkages. So that's the difference when we bring the non-AI technology and the AI technology. AI basically mimic human behavior and find out and categorize really what we need today. Moving on, I think why we need AI, and possibly we'll have a larger discussion throughout day today. In airline, all we know, it's since ages we are using this one. And as a result, are basically what we call the crash rate, the accident rate have basically dropped 97%. And reduction in the fatigue, better fuel efficiency, all we know, the flight basically, come, land, drop the people, pick up new set that they fly. We are using all those things. It's a completely just go by the flight example. That's how the AI works around it. But over-reliance can certainly cause a lot of other concerns. We need to be having the balanced approach, what we need from the new technology set. All the good things from the technology should be taken up, and all the concerns should be monitored in a way where we can put more money and energy to start improvisation in that. Now, towards the last, and with this, I'll basically close. What is opportunity? What is the potential? This is one study done by Niti Aayog, certainly. When we talk about AI adoption, all the company, the sector who use AI into their methods, into their processes and other things, you can see the huge chunk, the dark brown shaded line, that's adoption of the AI basically. That is what India's GDP, I would say the 600 billion, the new GDP, adding to the overall GDP, what we have 4 trillion today, will just come from the AI adoption. And these are the sectoral mix look like. So I think AI is the future. All of us are basically putting money into that. It's a mindful usage is what basically recommended, because the upside is a great opportunities, really great opportunities. But we don't want to be a part of Industry Revolution 1, 2, 3, what we all have heard Unfortunately, India was a laggard in that, and we all have seen. We possibly were the third rank in the world 250 years ago, but today, we all know, is the seventh rank of the same set of companies. We don't want to lose out this time opportunities. Thank you, and I'm looking forward for a more valuable and insightful discussion today. Thank you.